I'm back in Botswana, and in this two-part series, my friends and I will be exploring a couple of Mashatu Game Reserve's brand new offerings, namely the Lala Limpopo Sleepout Hide and Mashatu's two fabulous new safari homes. Sit back, relax, and join us on the adventure. We arrived at Pondrift Border Post on the 16th of October, right at the end of a long and harsh dry season in Botswana. With me was fellow wildlife photographers Kathan Moore, Anna Nagel and Jurgens Potgieter, and for all three of them it was their first time in Mashatu. We were transferred straight to Kolo Kolo Safari Home, where we received a typical warm Mashatu welcome. Hello everybody! How's it going? We had just enough time for a camp tour and a quick bite, because shortly after our arrival, we were taken to our home for the next 2 nights, the Lala Limpopo Sleepout Hide. Seeing just how dry it was, we had high hopes that the hide's waterhole would attract plenty of animals. There we go, we've just arrived at the brand new Lala Limpopo Sleepout Hide. Let's go have a look inside. Man, I've been looking forward to this for ages.
Darren, very nice to meet you.
Sure.
Darren, so nice to meet you.
After a quick look around, the Photo Mashatu guide Darren gave us a briefing.
My name's Darren Donovan, so I'm here to basically host you, help you out with anything that you may need. That includes any photographic tips if you need any. I'm happy to help. All right, so just a couple of things just from a safety side of things. All right, so one of the most important things is to stay inside. You are more than welcome to go into the patio area, but don't do so without letting me know. It is still a big wildlife area, and things do come around.
After Darren had shared all the do's and don'ts and showed us all the wheres, whats and hows, we celebrated with something cold and settled in for our first afternoon underground. And it didn't take long for the first animals to come down. What was immediately apparent at Lala Limpopo was the fact that no matter which room you're in, you always have a great view outside. And unlike many other underground hides, this one is extremely spacious. I'll take you on a full tour inside a little bit later in the video. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon and we are finally settled in here in the Lala Limpopo Sleepout Hide. Everybody's having some drinks at the back, waiting for something to show up. We've already had some warthogs and some cool birds, and there are some elephants and giraffe feeding close by as well. But we're so excited because within the next hour or so, the lights will start taking effect as well. And some of them are actually movable lights. So Darren said that he's going to go out just before it gets dark to put them in position. So can't wait to see what it looks like. Shortly after sunset, Darren went outside to strategically place the movable lights that we could control from inside the hide. Darren has just put out the lights on the outside. There are 4 box lights that he could move around a little bit, and there's one against the hide as well. And we can actually control the strength of those lights with this little remote right here. So let me quickly show you. For instance, at the moment I am on channel A, as you can see, and then I can change that and flick over, say, to B, C, D or E, and then once I set that, I can also change the intensity of the light. So to start with, we keep it around 15%, and then depending on where the animals drink, we'll change the channel and the brightness as well. And that just means that we can light up our specific subjects in the best possible way for dramatic photographs. Remember that the hide is still brand new and that this setup is likely to change slightly as the system is refined. So because we don't really want to be wasting time cooking food here in the hide, they've actually sent through some finger food from Kolo Kolo where we're staying. Looks like mini hamburgers. Dinner and breakfast is provided by the camp that you are checked in at, and the hide has all the equipment needed to round things off, including a microwave, a fridge, and even a fancy coffee machine. Our evening stint started around 7 p.m. and again, we didn't have to wait long for the action to start. We were amazed with just how many spotted hyenas came down to drink right throughout the night, and the little black-backed jackals were never far behind. We had plenty of opportunities to test the light setup, but we were grateful for the fact that we'd have a second night to perhaps be slightly more creative with the lighting. There were still hyenas around as colors slowly returned to the sky. That hour before sunrise is always so special in the bush, and it's by far my favorite when I'm in underground hides. And little did we know that this would be a morning to remember. Oh my goodness, what a morning so far. We've been up since it got light and didn't really expect to see much, but it's been non-stop action since sunrise. There was a beautiful Kori bustard, then suddenly a small herd of elephants came in, and while the eddies were still here, 3 spotted hyenas rocked up as well. So, oh my goodness, I tell you what, we're not going to get much sleep over the next 24 hours. So it looks a little bit like a bomb exploded here last night, which is usually the case in sleepover hides. Just all our goodies all over the place. And the same if you look at my face. Bomb exploded. That was one of the most enjoyable mornings I've spent in an underground hide in a long time. And I spend a lot of mornings in underground hides. But I think it's about time for a shower, and that's another cool thing about Lala Limpopo. Not only do you have your own kitchen, but your own shower as well. There we go, there's our shower. And the cool thing is, you've got a view to the outside as well, so you can keep an eye on animals coming through. Tell you what, I feel like a brand new person. That was a good shower. This staying awake all night is not for the faint-hearted. You think it's going to be easy, but it's actually incredibly difficult. You get so fatigued, and if you don't tag team it, I tell you it's impossible to stay awake alone the whole night. But we did well last night. We were helping each other to quickly get up to see all those beautiful hyena and jackal sightings, and then this morning was just something else. Baboons, vervet monkeys, giraffe, impala, steenbok, elephant, Kori bustard, and a whole lot of other birds. Like I said before, just one of the most enjoyable mornings I've ever had in an underground hide. And it's about 8 o'clock now, so what we're going to do, we're going to slowly start packing up. We're going to head back to Kolo Kolo, where we're staying at the moment, have a nice break there where we can sleep and eat, and then we'll be back here this afternoon at 4 o'clock. We were all on a high after our first night in the hide, and back at Kolo Kolo, we unpacked all our gear before enjoying a delicious brunch in the lush garden. And then it was time to catch up on some much needed sleep.
3 hours later.
More food. Here we go again. By 3:30, we were heading back to Lala Limpopo. But before I show you what the second afternoon held in store for us, let me take you on a quick tour of the Sleepout Hide. Before a bomb explodes in here again, I thought let me take you on a proper tour through the Lala Limpopo Sleepout Hide. So the first room is the kitchen, and I must admit we haven't spent a huge amount of time in here, but it's because we're taking photos next door. But it's here basically where you store the food and prepare everything that gets sent with you from the camp that you're staying at. At the moment we booked in at Kolo Kolo, so Oni and the team there have prepared some lovely finger foods for us. But there's a microwave, a coffee machine and a fridge, and pretty much everything else we need to keep our bellies full. If you follow me here, we have got a shower, basically single shower, 2 toilets. And what I love about all the rooms here, every single room has a view to the outside. So even if you're busy showering and there's something approaching, you'll be able to see it from here. But this is where all the magic happens. This is basically the main area in the hide. And as you can see, Jurgens and Anna are already getting ready for this afternoon's photo session. But if you look carefully, on either side, there's a small bedroom. So 2 beds on this side with little dividers for privacy. And then on the other side, you'll see there's 2 more single beds. And again, if you look closer, you'll see massive windows that can actually open for in case there's anything approaching from the side. Right here is where they store all the bean bags and support systems. So anybody with a heavy camera can use some of these little plates. They've got wonderful flat rotation plates with bean bags. You can just pop your camera or second body on there and that can rotate. And also little support arms for your smartphones as well. And then one thing that was really cleverly thought out was this day bed or couch here, because if you sit down to relax, it's exactly at the right height to actually see out. And I've seen this in a few other hides where it's just not the right height, so you're always stretching up like this or having to bend down. Whereas here, I can sit back and I literally have a perfect view of the animals coming down to drink. And this apparently also acts as a day bed for a photographic guide. So if you're leading the trip and you've got 4 guests, this is where you will then sleep. And they've even put a little divider in here just for a little bit of privacy as well. In the front here, you'll see that there's plenty of space for binoculars, laptops, camera gear, sockets to charge things. And I like that they've got these nice windows on the side as well that can open up, because this morning we were taking some beautiful photographs through here towards the rising sun. In fact, at some stage, a hyena almost stuck its head right in here and tickled Jurgen's ear. Big windows here in the front, super easy to open. They just flip up and click up like that, so super, super easy. And because there's no glass down here, it just means that when you sit here throughout the afternoon and into the night, you feel the breeze, you hear all the sounds, and you probably will be able to get splashed as well if an elephant comes close. If you quickly look here at Jurgen's and Anna's gear, they actually have their stuff on the bean bags already. So, sorry Anna, I'm just going to show that. Look how simple and easy that system is. It really leaves a lot of free space, not having to use a tripod or a gimbal that clicks on or sort of fastens in one position. And that means that if something happens on the side, that side or that side, it's very easy for them to grab their cameras, quickly come to the other side and take shots there as well. So can't wait to see what happens this evening. Let's get ready. By 4 p.m. we were ready for action, something that there was no shortage of yet again. That is another great start to the afternoon. It's so peaceful. The two elephants are just chilling here next to the water. Mongooses came in. Man, what a special place. And just as the one herd leaves, another herd seems to be approaching. Yes, Jurgens, that was epic, man. Yo, great backlight shots, eh?
Awesome.
That's what's so cool here, because you've got all these big windows, you just look over your shoulder and something else is approaching. So while we're waiting for these elephants to walk towards us, Jurgen spotted a warthog with the setting sun behind it and got some great shots photographing right into the sun through the window in the bedroom. Getting some good stuff, eh, Ketan? Darren had to wait for a gap in the traffic before he could put out the lights. But as soon as he came back inside, the elephant started drinking again, making for some extraordinary photographs with a colorful sky behind them.
Time to grab dinner while there's no action at the waterhole. Looking good.
The chef at Kolo Kolo had once again prepared a feast for dinner, but we had to eat quickly because the animals weren't going to wait for anyone. This time around, I was a lot more confident using the remote, and subsequently a lot quicker in changing the lights and their intensity. And that allowed us to capture some extremely beautiful photographs of everything that came down to drink throughout the night. Photographing animals at night can be extremely tricky, but luckily one of the Photo Mashatu guides will always be around to give you advice on equipment and settings. Remember that I also cover nighttime photography in detail in my best-selling online course, Wildlife Photography for Beginners and Amateurs, which is hosted on the online university Udemy. The course covers the 6 main aspects of wildlife photography, namely settings, equipment, light, composition, creativity, and animal behavior in 40 short and concise video lectures. And once you've enrolled, you've got lifetime access to the content. I've left a link to it at the top of the video description.
Oh, coffee time.
Sunrise on the second morning was just as special as it had been on the previous day.
Absolutely beautiful now.
Our 2 days at the Lala Limpopo Sleepout Hide flew by, and I must admit, I was incredibly impressed, not only by everything that we saw, but also by the layout inside. Each room was spacious and designed with purpose, keeping all the needs of wildlife photographers in mind, from charging points and camera stabilization to comfort and visibility. And being able to spend the night and photograph animals in what's essentially a waterhole studio was a real treat. And so our 2 nights here at the Lala Limpopo Sleepout Hide in Mashatu Game Reserve comes to an end. And I must admit, it was everything and more that I had hoped it would be. And I've actually spent a lot of time in an underground hide here in Mashatu because the moveable hide is just north from here. But there, of course, you can't sleep there at night. You just spend the morning, the afternoon, or a full day there. Whereas here, as you saw, we had the opportunity to not only spend the late afternoon and early morning there, but spend the whole night. And we had those wonderful lights that we could manipulate in terms of position and brightness. And that just gave us the opportunity to really get some spectacular photographs and video clips. And I think what Lala Limpopo affords us as visitors and photographers is to really feel a part of the environment. Not only because of where the hide is located, but the fact that it was designed so well. Those massive windows in every single room and every single side just allows you to see everything coming and for everything to come right up to you. And that was a really special experience. So if you guys want to visit, I'll leave links to the Photo Mashatu and Mashatu Game Reserve websites in the video description. And I really hope that you guys come out here to experience it yourselves. A massive thank you also to all my patrons. You guys are absolute legends. If you want to support the Safari Expert YouTube channel by making a small monthly donation, go and check out the link to my Patreon page that I've also added at the top of the video description. From here, we're going to head downstream along the Limpopo and spend 3 more nights in the reserve exploring 2 of their newest camps, namely Kolo Kolo and Shalimpo. Until next time,